back to another episode of Federico Talks Watches. Today, I'm once again joined by my business partner, John. What's up, buddy?
Hey, how are you?
Chilling, man. It's been a while since we shot a video together. Actually, not really.
I don't know anymore. All the days kind of just blend together when we're living the dream.
That is true. Oh yeah, by the way,
the Del Rey watch dream.
By the time you guys see this video, this is probably already sold, but in case it's still available, it's a GMT Pepsi with a beautiful faded bezel.
For under $8,000.
Yeah.
I want to buy this, but he won't let me because he loves you guys more than me.
Well, also, we need to be profitable. That's kind of what we do here.
Yeah, that's true.
So check it out on delreywatch.com.
And Speedies.
And of course, go subscribe to John. He's got a vintage-based YouTube channel, but he also talks about modern as well. That's John P. Link in the description below. Go show him some love.
Yep.
But anyway, a topic that we kind of discussed in your channel, but I thought would be interesting to go a little bit more in depth.
Yeah, sure.
We're both watch collectors. We both own a few pieces. I don't know exactly how many pieces I own, but I probably have 7 or 8 that I rotate through. You know, not all of them expensive, but that I wear regularly, 7 or 8.
Yeah.
You own roughly how many?
I don't know, but I wear roughly 3 or 4 daily, I think, right now. But it's not for the reasons that you think.
Exactly. So I wanted to speak to you, and this isn't scripted at all, like how we pick what to wear on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
So for today, for example, I'm wearing the Speedmaster Apollo 14 on a Hodinkee style strap. Style because it's not actually a Hodinkee strap. Same guy, though. What are you wearing?
Oh, what? I'm wearing my gold 1601 Rolex Datejust, you know, the early OG Datejust, but I recently murdered it with a fully decked out diamond bezel.
Hey, man, you know I'm not against a little bling.
I'm totally against it, but the bezel was almost free, so I was like, I'll try this. I'm bored. So I put it on and whatever. Look at my Instagram.
Exactly. Well, so you're wearing a gold bezel classic Datejust. I'm wearing a Speedmaster. So I'm just trying to think.
Yeah.
You know, I'll talk about mine, but I'd like to know, you know, I'll talk about mine first. But
yeah.
Basically, how do I choose what I pick day to day? And the real answer to that question is there's no process, right? I mean, I just
there's the video.
I just kind of wake up, and I usually pick something that I haven't worn often. I usually wear my watches 2-3 days in a row, and then I swap it out. Today I wore the Speedmaster for the simple reason I haven't worn it in a couple months because I just got my Brellum, I just got my GP, so I haven't worn it for a little while, right? So I felt kind of guilty. But usually my real thought process is during the day I wear bracelet or rubber watches.
Yeah.
Because it's hot in Miami, and I'm usually wearing a polo.
That's true.
And during the evening, where I'm wearing dress shirts and maybe dressier pants, I wear my strap pieces, like my Speedmaster, my Ming, my Tourneau, or sometimes it's a hybrid, like the Rolex Hulk I have. Mm-hmm. I'll mix it up with anything.
But have you ever put that on a strap?
No, never will, ever.
It's always
kills the
on
watch.
The bracelet.
Always on the bracelet. Always will be.
Wow, interesting. Not even a rubber.
Nope.
The rubber straps that we have at delreywatch.com, the Vanguards we just started.
Listen, very well made, very well made, and people love them, but it's just not me. Not at all.
I understand.
Not me at all. So basically straps at night, bracelets during the day. Obviously dress if I'm in a suit, 38mm Ming. If I'm casual, you know, Speedy on a strap or Rolex Hulk. You know, that's basically the way I do it.
Wow.
But do you have like a thought process at all, or you know, because I thought I didn't, but then the more I talked about it, I realized I did.
There's like a watch for every occasion, but I usually only have 2 occasions, so it's like I only need 2. Basically, my watches are just scattered around my apartment,
Same
and like
here.
wherever I'm drinking my coffee, I'll just grab it before I leave and put it on. I don't really wear watches in the house or out, but I started running again, and if I'm doing something a little more physically active, I wear vintage primarily, and I don't really want to wear a vintage watch if I'm going to be like on a run or if I'm going to be doing something that could expose it to moisture. I mean, everywhere there's moisture in Miami, like every corner. It's so wet down here. So I don't want to always wear vintage, but that's just because of the vintage pieces I have. I just don't want to ruin.
No, of course, I got you.
So, I mean, when you consider that, I would say that earlier on in my collecting, I probably thought a lot more about it. But now, since we have Delray watch, like, we're always putting other things on our wrist, and it could go for other professions as well. You have to take into consideration what you might be exposing or not exposing your wrist to.
No, for sure. I totally get it. But let me ask you this, right?
Yeah.
So, when we go out on the weekend, right,
Yeah.
and we sometimes go to like a nicer, more upscale place for dinner or something occasionally, right?
Yeah.
Does it matter at all what watch you put on, or is it still the same, whatever's closest to the door you pick up?
Here's the thing. It does matter, at least, like in the things that I'm doing, it does matter what watch you put on, but I purposely put on the wrong watch because I don't want to send those signals. So, like, if I'm going to meet up with like a girl or on a date or something like that, like a long time ago, I used to wear like the Rolex, wear the sub, wear the Rolex. So she's like, "Oh, this guy's doing well." But now I go out of my way to wear something she wouldn't
System
even.
51.
Yeah, or like a Speedmaster. She's not going to know what that is, or something else that she's just going to have no idea. And then, like a few weeks ago, sure enough, I change it up. I put on a gold Rolex. Within a half hour, she's like, "Oh, that's a pretty watch. What is that?" And she knows what it is. She knows what it is. And so, like, I purposely don't do that. But
Wow,
maybe I'm just weird.
That turned into a real rant, huh?
I think it's fair advice.
No, it is fair advice. It is fair advice. Some watches send signals, and there's peacocking involved.
If you're going to buy a car, don't wear an expensive watch because they might try to not give you a discount.
Sure. Okay, so here's a great example. Okay, I recently, well, not recently anymore, but about a year ago,
Yeah.
I went to a very, very, very important wedding in Spain. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
A very high-end wedding, very important people, and, everybody was dressed to the nines, and I wore my most formal
Custom suit.
custom Indian silk suit just for fun. But I remember that day I wore a gold Moser.
Yeah.
Why? Because it looked great with the suit, and the people that knew what it was would appreciate it, but I wasn't sending the wrong signals. So socially, I kind of see exactly where you're coming from, but we live in Miami after all, and this is the city to peacock. I'm not a big peacocker, I guess. Actually, maybe I am a little bit.
Goes and buys a Hulk and a Maserati and a custom suit. I don't peacock.
Well, okay, I'm more laid back generally than most people in Miami.
Compared to most, that's true.
But, I mean, I do kind of think about it. I do think what's appropriate for what situation. But I guess I was trained that way when I worked retail, because people would ask me advice. They'd say, I work in this profession, or this is what I wear every day, and I'd have to come up with ways to advise them.
That's good, though. What about at, like, a job? Because there's a lot of guys out there that do have watches that are better than their superiors, than their bosses, their managers.
Well, see, I think that really, really depends. In the luxury industry, if you work luxury retail, jewelry, stuff like that, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But you have to have something semi-recognizable. I mean, it could be a $1,000 Oris, fine, but you can't wear Michael Kors and be trying to sell someone a $4,000, $5,000 Brioni suit at Neiman Marcus. So if you work in retail, get yourself a decent watch. In finance, I remember every February I'd have the boys from J.P. Morgan and Goldman Sachs, the first year analysts coming in to buy Steel Sports Rolexes. We actually kind of made fun of that. Because it was like every February they got their bonus check and they'd come in. I think it's always important if your boss is a watch guy. So if your boss is wearing like a Steel Submariner, I would always say don't wear something more expensive than him. But if your boss doesn't care about watches, then it's fair game. That's what I think. That's my opinion.
This is crazy. I don't mean to hijack this thread, but I had a boss a long time ago, and he had a quartz Seamaster Bond. And when I started working with him, I thought, like, wow, this guy must. I didn't realize it was the quartz one because at that time there were minor differences from a distance.
Yeah, from a
I
distance.
didn't realize that he had it, and I thought he was a watch guy. And he's like, oh no, my wife bought it for me. And then I was wearing a Rolex Oyster Perpetual, and he's like, am I paying you too much?
Well, that's the thing. But you can spin that around. You can spin that around. Am I paying you too much? I don't know. How do you like the sales numbers this month? You know what I mean? I mean, how am I performing? If you,
I guess that's true.
It depends on the person. If you can carry it the right way, it really doesn't matter. But I guess the point is, be aware that watches do tell a story, right? They do tell people something, and that's kind of why I sometimes I just said I don't put really much thought into it, but I kind of do. I do.
What
put a little
story
bit of
are you telling right now with your Speedy?
well, listen, it's just casual, right? I mean, honestly, this is the wrong time to wear it. I'm in a polo. No one's seeing me in the office. The only reason I wore it today is because I haven't worn it in a long time. But for example, I'm going on a trip to New York soon, and it's cooler there. I'm going to be wearing a lot of long sleeve shirts. I'm going to be wearing a lot of brown leather shoes. I don't really wear sneakers. And this will fit beautifully. And what does that say? Well, it says I have good taste, but I'm, not flashy.
What do you think my watch is saying to people?
I think your watch says you're dating an older Asian lady.
I would say that I ruined Grandpa's Rolex.
that makes a lot of sense. Actually, that's exactly.
I ruined Grandpa's Rolex.
Or you borrowed Grandma's watch.
Dude.
I don't know. It actually kind of looks good. It looks good. I'm not gonna hate. I'd wear diamonds too. But anyway, guys, that's it today. Just quick little discussion. Let us know what you think. We're genuinely interested. And of course, go check out delraywatch.com. Link in the description below. And don't forget to subscribe to John P. Thank you so much, guys, and we'll catch you in the next one. Take care.